forget to check out my 2 ebooks available now on Amazon and Kindle. Lots of information on both books. The first one is Bet Smart, Win Big. Lots of information about sports betting, betting on boxing, how I made $70,000 in 3 months. The other one is Drive to Thrive. It's a comprehensive Uber guide for those who's trying to get into Ubering. Lots of information on both books. I'll leave the links in the video description. The title of this video is Evil Bosses and Coworkers. And this is a true story. I'm going to try to make up names because I still work for this company. I don't want those people to come across this video. Everything will go downhill from there. Back in 2018, story time. I'm working for this company. I wanted a way in this company. So what I did was I accepted the lowest position possible so I can get in with this company. I'm pretty sure that's a common thing that people do. Now, I got in with this company. I'm going to say 12, 13 years I kept applying for this company. I could not get in. Eventually, I got in. So I accept the lowest position possible, making $16 an hour. Now, my job, I'm not going to also say what my job was, but it was a very demanding job. It was a very physically demanding job. Now, I worked my ass off in that position. My boss one day, we just having a conversation, and he didn't know how old I was. Because let's be honest, most people don't really know your age. That's why you're not supposed to put what year you graduate high school, because in your resumes, tip for you real quick, because they can figure out how old you are. And he said to me, hey, I like the fact that you're young and you have a lot of energy, because I was looking for somebody in their 20s for this position. Now, he had no idea that I was actually at the time 33 years old. Right there and there, that's discrimination right there. So he was like, yeah, so I was looking for someone that's very young for this position. I don't want anybody that was past 20s for this position. So I laughed it off. Now, one of my coworkers, his name is John. I'm going to try not to make this story too long. So his name is John. This guy, honestly, the vibe that I get from this guy is that someone who doesn't like me, it doesn't matter what I do. I don't know if you ever have one of these coworkers. It always seems like it don't matter what you do. This person doesn't know you from a hole to a wall, but for some reason, they just automatically don't like you. We have a company cell phone. John, my coworker, accidentally sent a text message to my boss at the time. His name was, I'm going to say, Steve. John sent a message to Steve on the company phone, and in the message, he's saying that, hey, I don't like this kid. Every time I see him, implying me, by the way, he's talking about me. Every time I see him, he makes my skin crawl. I hate that kid. Now, like I said, Steve was my boss at the time. On top of Steve, you got Tom. I'm gonna say his name is Tom, which is like the big boss. He's like the account manager. Since Steve and John was best buddies, so I decided to go straight to Tom to report what just happened. So I show him the text message. So Tom absolutely did nothing. So I'm devastated. I'm working for this company. I don't want to go to HR. I go straight to, for some reason, I just didn't want to go to HR. I felt like it wasn't going to do anything. I keep applying. At this point, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to leave the company. I'm all set. I'm good. So I'm applying for jobs internally with the company. Now, one thing they do, it's illegal to give an employee a bad, basically, reference. So when you apply for a job, they call the other new position call. They can't say, yo, you're a bad worker or whatever, which I wasn't a bad worker, but I'm just giving you guys an example. Now, what they do is, this is a little trick, by the way. They're just gonna pick up and just be like, no comment. In a way, it's kind of bypass. They're not saying anything bad because legally they can't, but at the same time, that response triggers a person's mind. If they don't want to say any comment, it means that there's something bad. So that's what they do. So they kept doing that every position out. So I'm doing all these great interviews, right? Great interviews internally, paying $10, $15 more than I'm making. Yo, I'm telling you guys, like, all these great interviews, then they'll call my boss. All of a sudden, everything fall through. So basically, they were blocking me from moving up. Bottom line, I ended up having to quit the company just to get out of that site. That's what I had to do, because these guys refused to give me more money, and they also refused to let me go as well. So I had to literally quit the company, wait a few months, and reapply for the same company over again. And I ended up getting, this time I'm working as a receptionist, which is a way laid back, more cooler job than before. Because like I said to you guys before, the previous role was physically very demanding. A year later, I applied for a promotion. My boss was cool. This boss was really cool. I move up. At this point, I'm in a higher position. I'm not going to say the name of the position. So I'm making literally, at this point, $35 an hour. So I'm ecstatic. Now, I encounter, as bad luck would have it, I encounter a really bad boss. So another bad boss. This guy was almost 80 years old, stuck in his ways, baby boomer, and this guy was horrible. I could not even have coffee when I come in the morning. He said to me, dude, you gotta literally come in 30 minutes in advance just to have some coffee. It was bad. When I would be sick, right? And this guy would call me, and honestly, I didn't have to pick up my phone, but I would pick up my phone because he would call me and he would hear my voice. He'd be like, you don't sound like somebody that's sick. All that is very illegal, by the way. So I couldn't even call out sick. I can't have breakfast, none of that stuff. I applied for another promotion, and thank God I ended up getting the promotion and I moved up again. I don't know. Maybe it's something in the universe. There's a law in the universe. I don't know what it is. You can never have both, it seems. If you got a cool, chill back, lay back boss, most likely you're gonna end up working at a site that's a shit site. It seems like you'll be lucky to find both. But this time around, I got a super laid back boss. I got a bigger team that I'm working for. And that was always my goal. The goal was to work for a bigger team so I can learn from the other guys that are there that has more experience than me. So when I arrive at that site, the boss is chill, but I felt like a really weird energy. Basically, I was not part of the clique. The guys that are working there, they had a very distant energy about them. It's almost like they just kept giving me the cold shoulder. So anyway, I'm doing my own thing. They basically not paying me no mind. They didn't even give me a proper training. Now, as bad luck would have it again, and this is why I call this title Evil Bosses and Evil Coworkers, Tom from back in 2018, from the very first position that I told you guys about, ended up becoming the director of the entire district of the area I'm working at. We're talking, this guy has 60 buildings. For some reason, he is still not over about how I left his site because I quit. Remember, I told you guys I had to quit just to get out of the site. So this dude is still holding this against me. So he basically at this point already have me labeled. So now I'm like, oh man. So at this point, now I can't even apply to get out of this site because this dude is basically everybody's boss at this point, and he is absolutely obsessed with me. This guy find everything to get on me. I'm talking every little thing. Now my current coworkers, and I tell you, I think what happened was my current boss, right? I'm not referring to Tom because at this point I got another boss besides the guy that the big boss who don't like me. Hopefully you guys understand what I'm talking about. I believe he got me into this role knowing full well that there were certain things that I was missing, but he got me into the role anyway because he wanted to help me out. What ended up happening was my coworkers that I told you about, these guys have no intention whatsoever to give me a helping hand. Basically, they set me up for failure. And I don't understand the mindset where I don't even think this is a 2025 type of thing or 2024, but where people come into work, right? I don't know, you probably experience this at your job. These people have no intention of working. It's almost like they come in, they don't want to do anything. I remember back in the day, someone would come into work, like they were chilling or whatever, but they at least work for 4 hours out of 8 hours. This generation, they'll come in, they'll work 1 hour out of 8-hour shift, if that. Every time you turn, chilling, watching something on Netflix, just not doing shit. It's crazy to me. And now you have to understand, you have a boss from back in 2018 had a chance to do the right thing when another coworker was discriminating against me, didn't do the right thing. Now he's back even higher, in a higher position. Instead of trying to make amends and do the right thing this time around, he comes in and try to basically destroy me and make me lose my job. This is a true story. The way things are looking right now, I'm probably facing a potential demotion because that's what he's trying to do. Now, what's really fucked up, and this is why I call this video Evil Bosses and Evil Coworkers, the same people that I afford the luxury to sit around and only work 1 hour out of an 8-hour shift that's not doing shit, they're the same one throwing me under the bus, that the boss that don't like me, they're the same one that's whispering in his ear, basically saying how much they feel like I don't qualify for this position. He doesn't know what he's doing. You should let him go. The same people I afford the luxury to sit around and do nothing, they're the same one that's throwing me under the bus. That is diabolical. I don't understand the mindset. Now, you also have one of these coworkers. He was offered my position a couple of years ago, and he declined the position. Now, this same guy now, he's trying to get the same position which was offered to him a couple of years ago. Now that I'm in the position, that's the position he wants to slide right in. So he's going all in trying to throw me under the bus. You can't make this up. The things that human beings do to each other, and this is why I say we're in a fallen state. And I'm not trying to be super religious or anything like that, but ever since Adam and Eve, everything been upside down. So the human being is capable of things that's unimaginable. What's going on right now with me at this job is stuff like, I don't know, maybe you probably read about, hear about, but this is why I'm making this video, to basically, hopefully you guys can learn something. Hopefully you do. That your coworkers, they're not your friend. Your boss is not your friend. This is stuff that I'm sure some of you guys probably already know, but man, they can turn on you in a drop of a hat. Because the same person that's laughing in your face, this is the same one that's stabbing you. They got a butcher knife, bro. I'm telling you, like, they're doing all kinds of stuff, bro. That is just the honest truth. And I'm currently dealing with this situation right now. But anyway, I don't want to make this video too long. Leave your comments in the comment section. This is a new channel. Let me know how you feel about the video, if you like more content. Because honestly, I got stories for days. And we're going to keep bringing you guys more, hopefully interesting videos. And they're going to probably try to figure out who I am or whatever. One-way bus ticket to unemployment line real quick, because I'm telling you, these people, their heart is black, bro. They are demons possessed in human form, because that's how evil these people are, man. And they are all over the place. They're all over the world. They're in your city. Some people are not who they seem. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.